Hello, everybody. Today is the day that I get a microdoectomy done. Now, what is that? It is the removal of one or more milk ducts out of a breast. It's not a total duct excision. Now, why am I getting this done? Because my breast surgeon says that it's necessary. This whole started back in May of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. I was having a lot of health problems left and right. I was having back problems. My cyst that I got removed was being its usual pain in my life. And I was going in and out of the ER because I was having respiratory issues. Nowadays, it turns out that I have various allergies. I've been diagnosed with them, so that's fine. But it was a very, very scary time. And then my body was essentially all on fire. And I had healed nipple piercings. And all of a sudden, they just kept being very irritated and mad. And to the point that I was like, no, okay, I need to go see a doctor because I think I have an infection so I can get some antibiotics. I went in, I got antibiotics, it was cool. But then immediately, a day and a half later, my right nipple started leaking where it's never leaked before. And it was clear, I was noticing, because of course I was still keeping the piercings and the area clean. Um, and so I called the doctor. She told me to go back in again. She told me, I think this is cancer. I need you to go get a mammogram, a biopsy, and an ultrasound done at a cancer center. And so I did that. And they said that I have cysts in my breasts because she had also found a lump in my lymph node in my right armpit. And so, but they refused to get a biopsy done because they said that it was too invasive, that I have cysts, but they didn't look abnormal. And they said that I'm too young. So they literally in this entire journey, it's really frustrating how being young works against you. If the medical system has issues, lots of issues. I'll get into that in a different video. But they were, oh, okay, I was basically treated as if I was making things in my head by multiple physicians when I was just doing what my primary care physician was telling me to do. So I went to see an endocrinologist. She said that my hormones and everything was fine. um and basically I was like, oh, if you really want to do figure out, you can go see a breast surgeon. But I just got discouraged because by this point I had already spent thousands of dollars because in medical bills. And I they told me that if the breast is not leaking on its own and if there isn't any pain, do not worry about it. So I didn't. The leaking eventually stopped, but then all of a sudden in August slash September of 2020, it started back up again. And I went, oh, okay, like I'll just keep an eye on it. And then one morning, I noticed that it just was leaking on its own. And I went, okay. Like I woke up to like my shirt having a wet spot on it, but not huge, it's just noticeable enough. And then immediately later on that day, I started getting pain in the breast, and it was excruciating pain that I immediately took myself to the ER. And the ER said, "Oh yeah, it yeah, we're not gonna do anything. We can't do anything for you." And they called my primary care physician, and the primary care physician um, it just didn't care. She said for me to go to the breast specialist because what happened is my original primary care physician was on maternity leave, and then she just decided to not look into my file, even though she came back from maternity leave, because the original doctor that I saw was a stand-in. And so I was made to feel that everything was my fault because I didn't do what I was told when I really was following instructions. I was told that I don't really need to see the breast specialist if the leaking was not happening on its own, because it would happen when I was um, like cleaning it and stuff, right? Anyway, so I went to go see the breast specialist. She immediately said, "You have an infection. Here, have these strong antibiotics. You should be fine." Took the antibiotics. Then yeah, things got better. Like immediately, things got better. Because I remember praying, and I was so happy that I got such a quick appointment with the breast specialist because I could not sleep for 2 days that entire weekend because everything was on fire. My breast like ballooned, increased in size so much. started getting pain in the armpit. The pain was starting to go down my right arm, so that infection was getting really, really bad. And it was stupid because I could have been given antibiotics at the ER. Anyway, um, after the round of antibiotics, things got better. But then when I had sex, afterwards, the leaking started again. And so I called the doctor. She said, okay, because this had already been a couple of days after I finished antibiotics, she put me on the second round. And she said, it's a good thing that it's still leaking because it's, your breast is working the infection out. It's like, okay, cool. Second round of antibiotics, waited a bit longer to have sex with my boyfriend. It happened again. And so I emailed her, my breast surgeon. I said, hey, is this just something that I should just expect? And she said, no, this is not normal. We need to get you into surgery to get that removed. She said she thinks that I have something called a papilloma in my breast that is stimulating leaking to happen. And so she doesn't think that it's cancerous, but it's best to just know because the leaking actually started it's still happening on its own. Like it's just really weird. It's not even through having my piercings in or anything like that. It's just I could be normal, and I'm actually really happy that it's happening because I actually considered canceling it because all of a sudden the leaking stopped or reduced because actually the color changed. Before it was clear and then it became like milky and then became yellow and then it went back to just clear and then and then basically it just stopped happening again, but then it started happening again. So basically it's on and off, on and off. But right now my breast, I think so basically you can get recurring breast infections once you already have one, but it is a good idea to follow what the doctor says because what if it is cancer, and if it isn't, it's better to just have my body stop doing this thing that's not normal. And so I'm getting that done today. Basic procedures prior to surgery is you're not supposed to eat anything for about 12 hours. For this surgery, I was told not to even drink anything the morning of. I didn't do that. I'm going to check in at 11. My surgery is going to take about an hour to do, so I should be getting out of the surgery place at 1. It's outpatient, which means that I go home the same day. Hopefully they'll give me pain medicines. I'm going to try advocating to get pain medicines to go home. Because I'm asking a lot of my body. My body is healing my cyst surgery, and now it's going to be healing this breast surgery. And hopefully after this, things will stabilize a little bit. I'll let people know what things are going to look like, but I expect basically just to have soreness, pain, but I just have to follow proper aftercare procedures. And I'm just really happy because these are things in this day and age, it's about controlling the controllables. And these are things that I can control, that I can try to help give my body its best chance. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll continue posting updates and I'll talk to everyone next time. Bye!